This is a full story, right? This whole thing is way more than just what medical care Elias has and what we're able to provide for him. The story is much bigger than that. And I think we're just beginning to see what the Lord is planning to do with Elias in terms of his impact in other people's lives. I'm Ryan Bauer, and this is my wife, Aubrey Bauer. And we have 4 amazing kiddos. We have Ellery, she's 7. Emmett is 5. Elias is 4. And Emma is 7 months.
After we had Emmett, he was about 1 year old and just felt heavy that we needed to pursue adoption, international. And so we always thought Asia. So we pursued China adoption, and their requirements required that your youngest be 3, and our youngest was only 1. And so we're like, okay, well, not there. And Taiwan, Hong Kong, and India were the other programs that we met the requirements for. And Hong Kong and Taiwan had very high special needs, severe, I should say, special needs. And with a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old at the time, we just did not feel like we had the capacity for that. So India was still on the table, but we just had no desire to pursue India, honestly. And so just, we're just praying about which direction to go. And there was a couple nights where the Lord woke me up with India on my mind and just wouldn't let me go, So I was like, okay, Lord, if you say so, but you're going to have to change our hearts. And he did just that. And so we went down the India road, and we were matched with a little guy who was born with a condition called schizencephaly. It's a genetic condition in which he is born with only half of his brain. So he is missing the left whole side, basically, of his brain, and therefore should not be able to walk or talk. And instantly, the Lord was like, that's your baby. And I was like, but wait a second, we said not severe special needs. But it's like the Lord just took that away, and he just gave us a peace that he would sustain us, and we were going to walk forward. And we thought that was God completed our family, and then he did not. He called us again to adopt, and this time through domestic special needs, and that's when we brought Emma home. One of the hardest struggles to get over emotionally was, what have we done to Ellery and Emmett? The impact that would have on them. We just felt like his needs would really take away from them and their opportunities. We can't go and do like we are used to doing. And God just he just made us laugh, because we brought him home and Ellery loved him and Emmett loved him. And man, it brings me to tears. She just loved him with an unconditional love. And it was just God saying, I got it. Don't worry about it. So sweet. Yeah. And we see that now, even with Emma and, Elias, kind of broke our kids in, and they welcomed him just open arms. And then Emma comes in and they don't see any different. They're like, oh, it's another one to love on, It's been a really beautiful thing.
Unfortunately, adoption is very expensive. Early on, when we went through the process with Elias in adopting him, we had a discussion with Lifeline, I believe, and they had really strongly recommended that we reach out to Show Hope. We hadn't before, and I was thinking, okay, I guess we'll go through the application. It was somewhat reluctant, to be honest. But it was like the day before.
The last day of the cycle.
Yeah, the last day of the application cycle, we decided to just crank it out. We went into it with no expectation. Yeah. But we were blown away by the generosity, there's the word. And we were just so thankful, so grateful for that. And then fast forward, when we were in the process of adopting Emma, the first thing I thought about this time around was Show Hope. And so we went through the process again, updated information and that type of thing. And I think at the same time, is when we decided to also apply for the medical care grant for Elias. Such a relief to know that, there's ways that the Lord is supporting those who are doing His work, And I think Show Hope is one of those ways, not only through just adoption, but through medical care as well. Unfortunately, there's things that aren't covered by insurance. There's certain therapies and various things that aren't covered, and they can be fairly expensive.
We were introduced to a type of therapy called DMI, Dynamic Movement Intervention, and our therapist just really encouraged Elias to do it. I mean, that intensive brought us to tears, seeing what he was capable of. I mean, again, we were told he would never walk or talk, and he was standing, and he took his first step. I mean, literally, I'm just crying, and I'm like, I'm just amazed at the things that, he's capable of given a certain opportunity, at this intensive. So just amazing for us to have that opportunity, and Show Hope made that possible.
In the end, it was such an encouragement in so many ways, not just financially. It was the realization that Show Hope is an incredible way that the Lord uses to support His people.